Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back! Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Peace! Did you think I was going somewhere? I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting right here in this chair for the next 15 years of my life, talking about these fools I could care less about, like Shane Dawson. I mean, people that I really care deeply about and I'm obsessed with. Oh my God, like Tana Mojo. Anyway, back to the regularly scheduled intro. Peace! Peekaboo. I'm huge. I didn't know where to pick up. I'm YouTube famous now. Sometimes when I'm singing that part, I do feel like I'm on a stage and I'm like, do you see? Like, I really get into it in my eyes. Do you see it? I feel like I'm on a stage and there's millions of people that are just chanting, Peter, Peter, Peter. But in reality, it's just my dogs Boo and Tucker. Okay, so anyway, I didn't even finish the intro yet. Oh, the album, Dad AF. Rock on, Gold Dust Woman. Boost! Okay, I have just been in the giggliest mood all day. I don't know what it is. I have to tell you that last night, my husband and I, we laid in bed for a while. We were watching all these TikToks, and I just got so tickled by these TikToks. No, and I don't know, like, it's like if you watch one that is really, my husband just, like, he spends 2 hours a day watching TikToks, right? But if I watch one that's really, really funny, and then, like, they just get funnier and funnier and funnier to me, right? So I have to tell you, I watched this one last night, and I watched it like 6 times in a row, and and her name is Paula, and I'm gonna show it to you here in just a second because she is so fantastic. I will link her TikTok below, but this one, like, I don't know why, I just wasn't expecting it, and it cracked me up so bad. So here, check out Paulas Tik Tok.
Okay, so we all know the zip code to Beverly Hills. It's 90210, but do you know the zip code to Dawson's Creek? It's 90108. 90108!
You get it? The song from... You get it, don't you? Anyway, I don't know. For those of us that watched Dawson's Creek back in the day, it cracked me up. Paula probably has no idea that her little TikTok over there, well, it's actually doing really well, that her TikTok is hosted on a Peter Monn drama channel video about, a candle review company, about Shane Dawson today. Anyway. All right, let me tell you about my day. I've been so busy today, and I wasn't actually sure I was going to film a video on this channel or on any of my channels, but now I'm going to sit down. My husband's over at a Good Judy's house. They're having Thai food, and they're watching Grey's Anatomy. So I have time. I'm going to film some videos on my channels over here, on this one and my other ones. And so anyway, I was sitting on my front porch because I had gotten all of these notifications, right, from people telling me, Shane Dawson posted a video, Shane Dawson posted a video. Oh my God, the world has come to an end. Shane Dawson posted a video. Now we can all exhale, right? So I had sat on my front porch, and I was sitting on my front porch getting ready to watch this video when I was brought this rather large envelope to my front porch and handed this, okay, from my HOA representative. Now, if you watch my vlog channel, you might know that I talk about my HOA, my Starly HOA on a pretty regular basis. And I have to tell you how happy I was today when I saw that there were only 3 new committee members to vote for. You can vote up to 3. There's 3 that you can vote for, and you can vote up to 3, right? But there's only one of them on there, and I love her. She's my good Judy, and I'm voting for her all day. Forget those other 2. But anyway, so I'm handed this, and they're like, you need to read this. This is really important, and vote on it, right? Now, yesterday, okay, if you watch my videos from yesterday, well, the ones I posted yesterday, I was talking about how I was being asked by some other neighbors to sign a petition, okay, to stop this amendment of the covenant. This is very serious, you guys. Very serious business here, okay? So let me tell you, I sit down and I'm like, oh, damn it. Now I've got to read this whole thing. I know my husband's not going to read it, okay? And they will include things in there like you can't drink Diet Coke. And, you know, I love Diet Coke, but they'll slip it in there just because they're surly, okay? Or they'll put things in there like you can't have a certain color pumpkin on your... You guys think I'm joking, okay? If you live in an HOA, you know what I'm talking about. HOA stands for... well, I don't even know what does an HOA stand for? I don't know. But anyway, why can't I think? Homeowners Association. Anyway, so I have to look down here to see what it's totally blank, right? So anyway, they will put things up there that will, though, like you can't have a certain color pumpkin on your front porch or something. And I just spent like $100 on stuff on my front porch, and then my pumpkin died yesterday. Did you guys see that? I posted a video on my Peter Does Stuff channel. It was called My Pumpkin Died, Emotional. And it was very emotional. And then I got into the life of plants and everything. And so many people watch that video, and I just want to say I really appreciate it. I'm having such a blast on that channel. I'm going to stores and going shopping and all kinds of stuff. Okay. So anyway, I get this amendment, right? And I sit down. And you guys, I mean, I'm not even lying. It's a good 20, 30 pages here, okay? Because it's front and back. You guys see this, right? It's both sides, okay? Single spaced. And it says on here, amended and restated declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Cross-reference to instrument number, and then it's got this 79348248794. I mean, I'm like, are you kidding me? I got YouTube videos to make. So let's make a YouTube video. Let's talk about Shane Dawson's return to YouTube. Oh, before I do though, I have a couple birthday shout outs that I would love to give really, really quickly. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get into this. The first one is to Marissa. I think Marissa's birthday is today. They didn't say the date, but I think it's Marissa's birthday today. So Marissa, happy birthday to you. I would also love to give a birthday shout out to Morgan, who had all kinds of birthday plans, but then they fell through. And it is her birthday today. So Morgan, I hope that you are having the most amazing birthday in the entire world. And then Kayla's birthday is on the 9th. So I want to give a little early birthday shout out to Kayla on the 9th. And hold on a second. And then also Sam from the UK, her birthday is on the 9th. So she and Kayla share a birthday. So Sam, happy early birthday to you. And then most importantly, to the person who is the most retweeted and liked on my Twitter, this goes out to Savannah. I'm like, catch him. Okay, Savannah. Savannah's birthday is today. And all these people were like retweeting it. It was really kind. So Savannah, I hope that you are having the most magically amazing birthday in the entire world. All right, now let's get into today's video. Shane Dawson has made his return to YouTube. Now, I know y'all are like, okay, what's with the title? Because I probably titled this something like Shane is back. Oh no, for real, he's back or something. Because I have posted so many videos where I've said Shane's return or Shane is back or whatever. But no, Shane Dawson really is back. He posted a video, I don't know, like an hour and a half ago. Well, maybe 2 hours ago. I've already watched the video. The video is called The Haunting of Shane Dawson. Hold on a second. I will tell you. It is 40 minutes and 53 seconds. And it is currently sitting at, here, I'll get in here and tell you. It's currently sitting at, oh, that can't be right. I mean, it's been up for a while now. I mean, I know he's not in the algorithm, but he is Shane Dawson, right? Okay, so it's on his Shane channel. It's on his main channel. And, hold on a second. It is sitting at 4.4 thousand views. Oh, an hour ago it was posted. And it has 63... well, that, okay, wait a second. It's not catching up with the likes. Where are my glasses? Because I'm looking at it and it says, yeah, it has 63,000 likes and 2,000 dislikes. So the likes have not, or the views have not caught up with the likes yet, which is what happens a lot of times. It's probably sitting at a couple 100,000 views already in the first hour. I would only assume, because I started getting notifications like crazy. People sending me pictures of the video being up and all this kind of stuff. Okay. Now, I was going to sit down and I was going to take a lot of notes about this video, and I was going to, all the things that Shane Dawson said, I was going to respond to, and then I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to watch the video, and I'm going to give you guys my honest response of what I think about this, okay? And my first question would be, my first response would be, does Shane Dawson live in his merch? Because this is just an observation, okay? I feel like every picture, every Instagram story, every video that he has been in, like with, you know, Ryland or the SIP or whatever, that he's always got that spiraling t-shirt on, okay? Or some kind of merch. He's holding, like, you know, one of his cups in this video as well and stuff. And I'm like, is he always got his merch on? I don't know. Anyway, maybe I need to start wearing my merch more in my videos, you know? By the way, James Charles has new merch coming out. Did you hear? Who'd care? All right, the second thing I will say about this video is, and I watched it from beginning to end, I think for those of you, I said this the other day in my video, and it was interesting because I've said it a lot, but somebody left me a really nice comment, and they said, you are so absolutely correct about this percentages of who is watching these people now. And she was like, I'm part of the 40%. So let me explain to you what I said, right? When you look at the viewership of these people, and this is probably not just about Shane Dawson, this is probably about anybody that has gone through, I think I was talking about Jeffree Star at the time, but this is about anybody that has gone through any major conflict, right? You have 30% of people that are just like, I am not standing by this anymore. It's too much, it's problematic, I don't want to watch them anymore. And when we talk about cancel culture, that 30% are the ones that are literally, they're the ones that are canceling them because they're saying, I'm not watching them anymore, right? Then you have 30% that are like diehard fans that no matter what this person did, I mean, they could do the most horrific, horrible things in the entire world. They would stick by them, defend them, make excuses for them at any expense. And I think that we've seen both of those in the comment sections of drama videos in the last year and a half, 2 years, right? We've seen the people that are like, I'm so done with him. I don't care if he ever posts anything else about Shane Dawson. I don't care if he ever posts another video. I'm not going to watch it. I'm completely done with this forever, right? And then we have the other 30% in the comment sections that's like making excuses. I mean, they come up with things that, I mean, I understand that you love the person, but it's just like, it doesn't even make sense to me sometimes, right? And so then you have those diehard fans. What's left then is the 40% in the middle that's on the fence, right? And they're kind of like, well, I liked Shane, or Shane got me through a tough time, or, I watched Shane's videos when I was going through this breakup, or through this medical issue, or I grew up with watching Shane Dawson's videos, or whatever their answer is to that, right? And so to some degree, they have built a relationship, an online relationship with this YouTuber that they have watched over a period of time. I think that is the real pull of YouTube, and this is the reason why I think when people ask me, like, do you think YouTube will ever go away? No, I don't, because it's different than anything we've ever seen before, right? Like, with reality television, yes, you see those people and you build relationships kind of with these reality stars, but not really. They're still at a distance, right? Like, the only way is to follow them on social media. But with YouTubers, it's like they invite you into their world, they invite you into their life, they share parts of their life with you, things like that, And so I think that there's a relationship that a lot of people, especially people that don't have a lot of friends, don't have a lot of family, that they develop a lot of relationships with online people. I've done it even, watching a lot of people on YouTube, There was a couple years ago when, well, I've talked a lot about this, that my vlog would not be here today if it wasn't for RJ and Will at Shep689, which they're no longer together and the channel doesn't exist anymore, but they vlogged every day for 7 years, and I watched their vlog every single day. There were other, like, gay couples that I watched over time. There were other YouTubers, Glozell Green, I watched for years and years and years. Tyler Oakley, I watched for years and years and years. Couldn't wait for their videos to be put up. And no, I didn't necessarily feel like I had a personal relationship with them, but I can remember with, like, Will and RJ thinking, like, I hope their dog is okay, because their dog got sick at one point, or getting excited about the wedding plans and things like that. So I do think that we invest a part of our lives into YouTubers. And I've had so many people reach out to me and say, my friends and my family don't understand what I love about YouTube. They like, just don't get it, And I think that's part of it. And a lot of those are in the 40%. They're like waiting to see what Shane does, right? Like, they're disappointed in Shane. They're disappointed in his past actions that maybe they weren't necessarily aware of, but they're also disappointed in his involvement in the drama with Tati and James and Jeffree and things like that. And, there's other things that have come out that they're disappointed in. And so they're kind of waiting, and they're waiting to see what he does and if he really has changed. And I've said for a long time that the way that Shane Dawson returns will dictate this 40%. And somebody in my comment section said that's exactly me. I'm like in that 40%. So anyway, watching this video, I will say that those that are, I would say that all of the diehard Shane Dawson fans will love this video, okay? And then I would say 50% of the 40% will love this video. I mean, it very much feels like an old school Shane Dawson video. It's him in his house, and he's showing, I'll just break it down for you. Go watch it if you want. It's called The Haunting of Shane Dawson, but it's really not about The Haunting of Shane Dawson. It's about him building up, kind of him doing this haunted story in Colorado, but that's going to be part 2. So, like, the end of the video, he comes out and he says, okay, he shows clips from the next episode, and then he says something like, I missed you guys, or something. So the beginning of the video is Shane, Chris, the guy that's recording it, he like walks in the house, and then Shane's sitting there, and he's like, the piano's playing, but he's not playing it. And then it starts with him walking around the house, showing the house, and kind of talking about being canceled, kind of not talking about it. And then he comes down to the basement, and he sits on this couch with Rylan. There's just a lot of the joking along there. For me personally, and this is just my personal response, okay? After what I have seen in the last year and a half, after hearing behind the scenes kind of things of who Shane really is at his core, to me, the kind of the joking that he does isn't funny to me anymore. It's not enjoyable. He's not somebody that I would watch. I don't think it's funny. I think his jokes are self-deprecating. I think that he's learned a lot in the last year. I'd say he's learned, yeah. And, you know, and the things that I have said in videos that I would like to hear come out of Shane Dawson's mouth came out of Shane Dawson's mouth in this video. And, you know, I'm not going to get in a video and say that that's not true. The things that he said, like, you know, he said, the person that I am from my past, I'm not that person today, but I was that person at one point, you know, and he said he's done a lot of work on that. And I think that is huge awareness. I really, really do, okay? And I'm not excusing away the things from his past. It's not mine to excuse away and whatever, but I do feel that that shows growth to me, unless he's just, you know, uttering the words that somebody has said to him. Maybe he's, you know, learned those words in counseling, and so now he's repeating them. I don't know. He talks a lot about counseling in this video. But he does say that, you know, he's changed a lot in the last 5 years. Now, for me, the hard part about that statement was, okay, in the things that I've heard from Gabby Hanna, in the things that I have heard myself from Shane Dawson, in the things that I have heard from other people, okay, many other people, it isn't evidence to me that Shane Dawson has changed, okay? So I don't know if he's just referencing the last year, but he does say the last 5 years, okay? I don't know if what he's saying is, I'm not the same comedian, and my humor isn't the same as it was 10 years ago, okay? Or if he's saying, I've really changed and I'm really this good, kind, caring person. Because I'm telling you that I've heard many, many different things behind the scenes, and I've also heard them with my own ears. So, you know, for me, that's kind of hard. Do I think that him moving away from Los Angeles, not being caught up with all of that kind of stuff, and moving to Colorado is a wise choice? Yes, and I've said that before. You know, I think, like, Shane really talked in here about, like, the next chapter of his life and who he wants to be and how he wants to spend that. And, you know, and I think that's a realization that a lot of people had. You know, for me, it's interesting because Manny MUA got such backlash when he came out and said very similar things as Shane Dawson said, right? So for those people that criticized Manny MUA when he said, my social blade is in the red, but my personal life is in the green, and talked about needing to focus attention on family and friends and getting back to what he loves, if you're willing to excuse away Shane Dawson, then you should be willing to excuse away Manny MUA as well from the past, because I don't think that Manny has really ever been able to fully get back to where he was before, and yet he kind of learned the same things and says the same things. I'm almost kind of wondering if it's not like a rite of passage that many YouTubers have to go through, right? Like, you have to go through this, you know, whatever, and then come out of it on the other side. So that was that. I will say there was some point in the video, I don't know what he said. It was around the point, they talk about the Dolan twins having left YouTube and that they started a candle business. They're kind of joking about it. And there's a point in there where I'm like, oh, now I understand why Jeffrey did the video last week. Okay, why he took the Lipstick Nick video down. Now it's all making sense to me. And I almost could kind of behind the scenes, because I've had conversations like this, you know, where Shane was very excited, and I could almost kind of hear Shane go, and yeah, and then this, and then that, and then we're going to post this video, and then I'll post the video the following week, and then everybody will go crazy, and they'll be watching it, and they'll be like, oh, Jeffrey and Shane, and this will be our, you know, come up again kind of thing. Maybe not those words were used, but, you know, do I think that Shane saw this as his opportunity? Yeah. Do I think that Shane saw this as his opportunity and put something together real quick? Yeah. This is not a highly edited Shane Dawson video. It just isn't, okay? This is not a video. I don't care what anybody says. If anybody comes out and says, this video belongs on Netflix, this is like the great... No. This is Shane Dawson walking around his house, making jokes about his little things that he has sitting around his house, like a pumpkin and like this and whatever, making jokes with Rylan, making jokes about how he's canceled, making jokes about PewDiePie, talking about his list on the wall. And, you know, even then, like, he's talking about, like, he's going through this list on the wall, and it's like, in this house we do this, and it's like, laugh a lot, and he's like, yeah, we do that, and it's like, make mistakes, he's like, we do that a lot, I'll get to that in a second. And then he says something else. He's like, we do that a lot. And then it says, like, forgive easily or something. And he goes, and you need it, and I hope you guys do that with quickness or something. He makes some kind of joke about it. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. Maybe a little bit too early, you know, for that. Like, maybe come back and just talk about the changes you have gone through. I do think it's interesting to me, okay? There's kind of an old YouTube trick, and the old YouTube trick is come out with a new video and then slip your apology in there and slip your addressing the issue in there, kind of somewhere in the middle, right? Like, it's kind of an old YouTube trick. If you've watched YouTube for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. The videos that get the most negative attention are like the Laura Lee apology video, okay? When you come out and you sit down in the gray hoodie, and she didn't have a gray hoodie on, did she? But you sit down and you make this. By the way, did you see that Gabriel Zamora is talking about all the Dramageddons on Gigi Gorgeous's podcast? I haven't listened to it yet. If it's out, I don't know. But he is at SHI Chitster like nobody's business. So it's going to be really interesting to hear what he has to say. And that's part of the problem, you know? It's like, okay, so Shane comes out and he says, I'm this changed person. Like, I've changed and I've grown a lot in the last couple years and all this kind of stuff. But what if people come out and they counter that? And we start hearing stories of who Shane really was in the last year or two. Then he can't say, I'm a changed person in the last 5 years. I don't know. Maybe he's banking on the fact that he really has changed. I don't know, you know? What was I saying before that when I got into the whole Gigi Gorgeous thing? I don't even remember anymore. But anyway, okay, the old YouTube trick is that you kind of slip in this apology or addressing thing, right? Instead of doing an entire video, like a James Charles video or a Tati video or whatever, like you slip it in kind of, because at that point then the people are more excited about the overall video, and then they're like, like, you know what I'm saying? But they're already there for the video. Okay, if you do a video that's all just an apology or all just addressing the past, then what happens is people focus on that and they tear it apart and they pick it apart a million times. Drama channels, all of us would do that. I would be sitting here with a list of 40 things probably if he had done that video, right? So it's interesting to me that he's walking through the house, he's showing things, he's showing his favorite rooms, showing this, and then, let me kind of just address a little bit of what happened and what I've been doing and how I've grown as a person. And then, this, and then the Dolan twins this, and let me talk a little bit more about it, let me talk a little bit more about it. This, let me talk a little bit more about it. And then he goes into this haunting thing that Morgan's really excited, or she knows the story of, so he goes over to talk to her about it. And that's how the whole video kind of ends. And there's really no transition period between any of it. So it's really just kind of this open dialogue of the cameraman following Shane around for like 10 minutes in his house while he talks a little bit about what happened. I think, and this is the thing, I was watching this and I was like, this is the most that we're ever going to get from Shane Dawson, right here. Shane Dawson's never going to address this again. This is the video right here that Shane wasn't sure on how to come back. But I think because the reception was so positive with Jeffree and Shane, that Shane was like, okay, it's safe for me to come back. Now, I don't know if he didn't have maybe the end part already filmed, because that seems like he's got a lot of that already filmed, and that he was just waiting for the moment and then went and filmed this other part. But I think he was, like, he knew this reception with Jeffree Star, like, that was so positive and people were so supportive of them together again. He was like, this is the moment for me to come back. And so he did, right? That's the video that we got. Shane Dawson addressed what happened in the past. And, you know, and he said a lot of really true things in there. He really, really did. He was like, you know, I know there are going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like me. And that's okay. I have to like myself. That's a true statement, you know? And he said in there, he was like, I can't be stuck on what happened in the past for the rest of my life. And he was like, if you want to judge me on that, judge me on that, you know? And that's true. That's a true statement. That's something that I would say to myself, that I have been told by my sponsor and other people. That's something that I read in my Peterisms videos, you know, when I'm reading meditations. Those are things I believe in, right? Is that enough? And this is the question. Is that enough for the people that have signed off from, you know, Shane Dawson? Maybe not. It doesn't really seem to me like he really cares. What it seems to me is that, truly, like you said, I have missed being creative. I don't think he can even handle being off YouTube, okay? Or at least having the opportunity to not be on YouTube. And this was his coming back to YouTube. And I have to say, I am really surprised that he's kind of going back to doing very mundane things, like these, not conspiracy theories, but like this haunting kind of stuff. And he talked about wanting, you know, the horror movies and all that kind of stuff, which I think it's so funny that my good Judy and I are starting this horror movie podcast, all socials listed below. Yes, more information is coming very soon about that, by the way. Will we be reviewing a Shane Dawson movie? I don't know. But, you know, do I think that it's interesting? Yeah, I thought he would come back with some huge thing. But then I was watching it and I was like, this is very smart, because he's coming back on something that he knows that 30% loves. They love his conspiracy videos. They love his anything talking about haunted demons or any of that kind of stuff, right? They know he loves that kind of stuff. Or he knows they love that kind of stuff. So that was very smart for him to come back on that note, you know? And I will say this, you know, Shane Dawson is much brighter and much more calculated than people give him credit for. He knows what he thinks about these things, like the timing of when to release things and whatever, you know. I can remember talking to Trisha Paytas back in the day, and Trisha said that Shane was absolutely just like kind of consumed with knowing what people's numbers were at any given time. Like, you know, knew like how many subscribers somebody had and how much they had grown by and whatever. And I was like, oh really? And I almost kind of didn't believe it at the time. Yeah. And but then it was interesting because that was like the very couple first times I'd ever talked to Shane Dawson. And Shane reached out to me and said something about how many views I was getting a month. And did I, you know, like, was I aware of this and whatever? And I was like, this is interesting to me. Like, Trisha said that. And then there was like a scene in some video that he did where he had Social Blade up on the TV. Do you remember that? And Social Blade's a third-party entity that used to show in real time, like how many subscribers you got. It doesn't do it anymore. But so Shane he knows those things. He knows views. He knows timing. He knows, I mean, Rylan, Morgan, all of them, they talk about views, subscribers, algorithm on a regular basis. Shane has been waiting for the stars to align for the right moment to return. So I guess what you have to ask yourself is this the right time for you? I don't know. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. His humor to me, like, for me, the jury is still out, okay? Like, his humor was very similar to his past humor in this video. So I'm like, if your humor is showing that you've changed, I'm not seeing that, okay? When you're very serious, yes, it appears that you've changed. How can you switch off and on like that? Maybe he can't. I don't know. But like, for me, the jury is still out, you know? So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.